everybody. Welcome back to the late nights. Tonight we have Moderately Anonymous joining us. My gosh, that's you. Oh my gosh. Co-hosts, buddies Deak and Scooooooots. How you guys doing?
You. How are you? Yes.
Doing
exuberant. You.
You. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I can't actually do that. I think that's pretty much a Midwestern thing, and I don't have that in me.
The Midwest. I stole it from I'm binge watching Letterkenny, which is about Canadians.
Oh, of course,
in Ontario, and I'm close enough to them where I can steal things and
great fishing in Quebec.
Appropriate them. Great fishing in Quebec.
I'm from upstate New York, and so the very southeastern Ontario stuff resonates. It's basically the same place, I think.
Yep.
Excellent. So, Moderately Anonymous, aka Dan, can you tell us about you, things, what you do, who you are, how awesome you are? That'd be great.
Yeah. My name is Dan. I'm a content creator from Philly. I used to make just content on Instagram. I wrote a lot of art analysis on Instagram for like a bunch of years. That's how I got my start in content creation, just like sharing cards in my collection and talking about the art of the cards that I've always really enjoyed a lot. And just over pandemic, probably at the start of the pandemic, I started getting into streaming all sorts of different content, but mainly cEDH. I had just picked up playing cEDH around Flash Hulk era and started getting into it more and more. And over the past year or so, I have started making YouTube content and getting more into that kind of space. And now I make the grittiest cEDH content in the multiverse. That's like the real in a nutshell version.
Hey, can we stick to calling it the Plandemic? We're very anti-vax on this podcast.
Yeah. I don't want magnets.
Yeah, I don't need extra 5G.
Oh my god, I can't.
They're gonna track me through the Bluetooth.
Man, you know what? The pandemic.
I could tell he meant it too, because he really cut me right off at the end there.
Absolutely.
I've been fucking waiting for this idiot to stop talking.
Oh my god, dude. The best term I've heard for people who don't want to get the vaccination is Antiva. Oh my god.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's quality.
Right, quality content.
Like maybe 4 months ago, I started calling it the Panharmonicon, and I was like, I'm so fucking dumb.
Bad.
I wish I thought of this a year and a half ago.
Right?
Yes.
You could print that on T-shirts.
You could print that on
T-shirts. I got some friends who were calling it the Panini for a while, which is good. That's another good one.
That's not bad.
I like it.
Surviving
any of the
Pan
spinoffs.
Honestly, like this is like what has led me to be so involved with online play is the pandemic. Like being at home and just playing all the time via webcam has led me to playing way more Magic. Like way significantly more.
Well, it was great for people who like I started, I don't know, playing webcam half a year or so before the pandemic. So like people who got established in that time, and then all of a sudden everyone joined. Like cool, I know what's going on. I know the ins and outs of this.
Now we've got a bunch of friends who can play.
I almost stopped playing Magic when I moved to Philly, just because I live outside of the city, so it's kind of a hassle to get into the city. And then I was like paying money to get into standard and modern tournaments and get my ass whipped by way better players. And I was like, this is kind of dumb. Like, I don't like doing this. So I started like just playing Arena at home. And then I didn't really have anyone in the city that I knew to play EDH with, so I kind of just stopped playing paper Magic altogether until I found a bunch of people through the internet and started playing maybe like a year or so before the Panharmonicon started. And that during that period of time where everyone's like, I can't buy a webcam, I was like, you idiots, I already got a nice one.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was, man. There was someone like posted the greatest hookup. It was, I think it was Braden. He like posted a thing, it was like on Amazon. There was like this really, really good webcam for like $8 or something like that. And I'm like, I'll get it, whatever. And then
I remember the link.
Yeah, right. And then I got it, and then it got shipped to my house, and I was like, oh, this is gas. This is so good. And I remember my friends being like, I need a webcam. I just gave my old one. I was like, you guys.
Nice. The hand-me-downs.
Timmy bought like 10 of those or whatever. Those $8 webcams.
Mm-hmm.
Worth it.
Deak, you have a list of questions, good sir. Please.
Oh, yeah. So, for everyone listening, I've never really met Dan here before, so I'm learning everything new, just like everyone listening to this. So okay, number one, now that I know you're from Philly, do you consider yourself part of the Philly crew? Because I've encountered like people like occasionally on Discord who are like, oh yeah, I'm part of the Philly crew of cEDH. Like apparently it's a happening thing there.
Yeah, so like if you think of the Philly crew and like you think of like the prominent online people, you're thinking of like Braden, who's formerly Philly and now moved to I believe Richmond. And Kai and some of the other people like that, maybe Mikey. I like didn't really know any of them pre-pandemic and anything like that. I actually like just hung out with Kai for the first time in like 2 years this past weekend. So I'm like sort of just now getting back in touch with that group of people now that I've gotten back. I didn't say anything, Scott. I wasn't going to say that I got it.
Thank you for checking yourself. I appreciate it.
About to have a disturbance on here.
Honestly, I was about to explode, but luckily, the 5G could not get to me.
Not through this chat.
Completely unrelated, but are there any vaccine-themed cards? Because like Yu-Gi-Oh has, it's like vaccination fairy or something like that. I just thought of that now.
So there was the Death Corona, the alt variant, right?
I
was
that.
just thinking about that card the other day. They were selling copies of it for like hundreds of dollars on eBay when that set first came out, and I think you could probably get it for like $20 now, which is like, honestly, that's a few dollars for a dumb card.
Yeah,
I still have one of those. I don't own Magic cards anymore, and I got one of those at a pre-release for I think it was Ikoria, and yeah, I still have one. It says Death Corona on it. It was before they dragged it back and reprinted it, but
I almost slipped one into Yuriko for a while, but then I was like, no, I shouldn't.
It's only a little funny.
It's only a little funny, yeah.
I'm primarily a collector more than a player, I would say. Just like I enjoy collecting more, I think. So like honestly, I do want one of the Death Coronas just because that is like a very weird oddity of Magic.
Yeah, yep. Because they name changed it, didn't they? Or
in Arena they changed it or whatever.
There was like the first print wave that had that name on it, and then the second print wave is going to have it removed and replaced to whatever it is.
Mechagodzilla something. Yeah.
It's Space Godzilla. God,
sorry.
Watch your Godzillas.
Listen, I have seen many Godzillas, okay? I don't remember them all.
Have you seen the one... For a while, the girlfriend and I were watching Godzilla movies, and had the fucking Mothra Caterpillar. It had Rodan and Godzilla, and there's a scene... Oh, it's like they're fighting Ghidorah, or about to, and they're playing volleyball with a rock. Do you remember that one by any chance? And then they start talking about how humans are bullies.
I have never seen that, but that sounds amazing.
It's really like they go all over the place with Godzilla. Some are serious, and then all of a sudden, like we're in the middle of this, and they start talking with each other and have subtitles.
That sounds like a Robitussin fever dream. I gotta be honest.
It sounds like a bad SNL bit. I love it.
Yeah, it's. I just remember like. Sorry, go ahead, Deak. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine. Continue.
I just remember the first Godzilla movie I ever saw. I probably was like 6 years old. I remember my dad just like laughing at it because there was this little kid who had like a basically what looked like a Radio Shack home electronics kit, if you remember those from way back in the day. And the English translation, the dub was so bad because the kid was just like computer on this little electronics kit. And that's the earliest Godzilla I remember. That's my whole Godzilla story. Thank you.
That's good.
That was a good Godzilla story.
And then Bryan Cranston ruined the franchise.
Oh man.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
Do you know there's an Archon of Coronation?
I mean, if we're talking about vaccine cards, like the one that comes to my mind is smallpox.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's one.
That's a good one.
Pox,
I have such happy, warm
Plague
feelings
Engineer?
about Pox.
or pestilence.
Pestilence.
Yeah. Anyways,
Toxic deluge.
You don't think this is a good topic of
virus
conversation?
options. Yeah.
yes, very,
This is definitely not worth cutting.
not worth cutting for sure. No, all of this will be left in for sure, 1000%. Okay, so you're part of the Philly crew. Okay, I like it. slash not part of the
a
Philly
burgeoning part of the Philly.
And
crew.
we know he's a collector now.
You know, you're
than a player.
Awesome.
Let's say that the Philly crew wishes that they belong to me.
Right, that's
Yes.
fair.
Shots fired. I like it.
Well, I mean, many people's heart is belong to Dan.
That's true.
In my
That's true.
experience.
To be completely fair, like Dan has been a part of almost every single stream I've watched in the past 48 hours. Like, like I go to a new stream, like,
someone-
oh, Dan's
okay.
on it again.
You have to link me any of Dan's streams, because where do I go, Dan? Where do I go to hear your voice?
I stream every Wednesday and Saturday night on Twitch TV / moderately anonymous MTG, and I put out new YouTube videos every Saturday. Although sometimes I think, wouldn't it be great if I didn't do it every Saturday, because that's so much work, but I haven't stopped doing it every Saturday yet, so.
Now, has any one video made you really, really not want to do any more edited videos? Any really egregious ones?
If you're referencing like our last Possibility Storm one, that's not.
I mean, possibly.
Honestly, that wasn't even like the most egregious one I've ever edited. The one where we did the Zer's weirding, and then you cast a Wheel of Misfortune,
yeah,
and we all decided that like this is worth it.
This is just the thing we have to do.
Every
right
single
now.
card gets checked, and then it
That-
goes for an order
Yes.
who wants to pay 2 life.
So
That
like
is
at a certain
correct.
point in the editing process, I like broke down and I was like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, and you're gonna watch that, and we're just gonna say a bunch of words real quick. But actually scrubbing through that footage and like pinning it down to like, it was still like a 10-minute process in edited form, but it was like a 30-minute process in real life. That was really like, that made me pull my hair out. There's lots of moments, I think, where it's just like, I was talking to somebody else about this who edits. Maybe it was Michael Lynch from I Hate Your Deck. Just like some people, the way that they will say before they say everything, it's like, oh, come on, just say the fucking words. Little things like that by like hour 10 of editing will make me pull my hair out.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
can
nothing
totally
so
see
far
that.
that's made me want to just full on quit.
As someone who used to edit podcasts, is the bane of my existence. You cut out so many uhs. I did an episode with Nathan, you know, Chef Nathan there.
Yep.
I did an episode with him, and
Is this a toast episode?
yeah, it was the toast episode. The man uses the word "like" so many times that there's probably 100 of them still in there, but I cut out. When I stopped counting, I was at 147 instances of the word "like."
That's horrendous. I love it.
But it's one of those things. Yeah, editing takes a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a good filler
Yeah.
word. That's a good filler word right there. Ums and likes, man, that's like all of California talks like that.
I mean, he's I don't know Nathan, but he seems sort of hippie like that would just naturally flow from him.
You know, outside of like the long hair and free love attitude, he's probably the least hippie person I think I've ever met.
Does he like guns?
He's like, no, he doesn't like guns, but he's like super high strung, and has like a very, very high motor.
I only know him because I follow him on Twitter. One of the
On
few
the
people
Tweetor?
one of like the 3 people on the tweets that I follow.
Yeah,
Just because he's so entertaining.
yeah, he's worth the follow, definitely. You know
Yeah,
who
when I
else is
joined
worth the
Twitter,
follow?
I was immediately like, Nathan is like one of those people that you should just follow, right?
Yeah, it's just an easy choice to follow Nathan.
It seemed evident, like just everyone's retweeting him and talking to him all the time.
And like whatever you're into, whether it's just pictures of him in only an apron or food content, like you can get whatever you need there.
Yeah, some magic sprinkled in.
Occasional magic.
I saw his
Yeah.
hermit druid altered to him, so that was cool.
Yes, that was very
That
good.
was.
I think that is a Beyond the Machina joint. I can't remember who did that.
Oh, very nice. Excellent work from Beyond the Machina.
My goodness. I love all of their artwork. Oh my gosh. I'm such a fan. I fanboy a little bit about it. I remember when I was really, really all about the oh my god, I can't remember the name of this commander now. The black commander that gets stuff when you sacrifice things.
Wow, very descriptive.
I was
Okay,
totally drawing a blank.
black commander.
Turgrid?
Turgrid, yeah, Turgrid. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
I was
It's worth forgetting Turgrid.
yeah. Listen, I still like that. That deck is so much fun
I
to play
love
in high power.
Turgrid. It's not great, but it's lovely.
Listen, I thought it would be really fun to play Painter Servant with All Is Dust.
Sure, I like that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I was like, hey, can I commission a dual little card partnering with All This Does It Painter Servant? And they made that for me, and I was like, thanks, bud. I was so, oh my god, I was over the moon. That's how I was really amazing. About it for Turgid for a little bit. I was running that card hard.
Did you ever actually resolve Painter Servant and All Is Dust?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that happened 3 times. Yeah, I got it. Down 3 times.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I've just been doing straight Turgid and Death Cloud in a casual Karth deck, and that is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that seems a lot of fun for one person.
For one, yeah. That's
yeah, if you're good spirited, it's fun.
Yeah.
But if you're a friggin' sourpuss,
Fair enough. I guess I am definitely a sourpuss
you're a curmudgeon for sure.
I am for sure slightly curmudgeonly in
but
that.
not if someone death clouds you.
No, if someone death clouds me, I high five them.
You should, because it's awesome.
Speaking of people who aren't curmudgeons, like when I was on the most recent YouTube video on Mott's channel, I was like apologizing because I had resolved a possibility storm and was manually storming off into it with Thrasios Krark. I was like, I'm sorry, this is the worst thing ever. And the thing that struck me was, Dan, you just said, no, a resolved Mind's Desire is the best thing to watch. It was the best moment.
I have 2 points to make about this. The first is that I love to keep moments like that in the videos because I do really love to showcase just people enjoying other people playing Magic, because I think that is like an underrated part of the Magic experience, is enjoying other people doing it and having fun and getting to like pop off and like resolve a Mind's Desire X8 with a Krark trigger on the stack. Like that's just fun and cool. And my second point is that I was I was listening to covers of Yes songs earlier tonight, like that really long Yes song, I can't remember, and I was like, maybe this is like why I'm the kind of person who's like, no, it's fun to watch Mind's Desire X8's resolve because I have the kind of patience to listen to 20-minute Yes covers. So like, I don't know, maybe that just says something about me more than the state of Magic in general and having fun.
Who knows?
I feel like prog rock while resolving storm is very appropriate. So
I'm always listening to it in the background. I'm listening to music in the background right now that will not be in the recording, but like, it's always going on in the background, so I guess that it allows me to keep my attention longer, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. I think seeing Storm resolve and like seeing non-deterministic loops get there is like really satisfying. I as a person who's witnessed now both Deak and Scott do Krark things. God, the card is so ridiculously good.
No, it's bad. It's a bad card. It's a stacks piece for yourself.
It's both things at the same time, though. Like, it's the most ridiculous card in every single sense of the word.
Yeah, it just gets there. It just gets there. And
or sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't.
Or sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes in an MLC game, it just doesn't get there.
That mental misstep flip I had will always haunt me. Like, here we go. This should win it. Oh, I lost a double roll for it.
Yeah.
See, that's the life of a Krark player, and that's why I really respect the Krark players in the same way I respect, like, the Godo players, in that, like, you're all in it, and you know you're just going to blow up in your face some to a lot of times, and you're just like, yep, I'm fucking in it to win it, baby. That loss is going to haunt me for the rest of my life, but so isn't that win.
Yep.
I'm in it to win it, baby. Oh, it's great.
I've noticed with Krark. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I don't know if it was just because, like, I play Krark more and more, but I start, like, viewing every decision in Magic now as, like, some form of gamble, risk, payoff, reward kind of thing. Maybe more so than before playing Krark. Now it's just like, yeah, every spell has a chance of getting there. Like, do I go off now? Someone might have a counter. I should do it anyways.
Totally, that's the thing, right? I think about that all the time, and I also think about, like, I've heard Sakara say about, like, the difference between American and European players is that American players will be a lot more, like, brash and brazen, which makes a lot of sense to me in the, like, typical American mentality. But also, like, there are those high risk, high reward payoff moments where it's just like, and maybe someone has something here, but if they don't, I just have the whole thing, and sometimes you get it.
Yeah. I don't know if you can quite say, like, Europeans are timid in the sense that, like, you watch the Finns play, and they just go for it every time.
Finland doesn't
They
exist.
don't. There's a fish out. Enjoy your 10 cards this turn cycle. We're all trying to go off through it.
I love that.
I think we need to stop perpetuating the myth that Finland exists.
Oh, yeah.
It must be so hard to have
It's like
conversations
birds.
with Scott and his conspiracy theory.
It doesn't exist. Finland doesn't exist.
Birds,
It's just the
Finland's
ocean.
and effective vaccinations.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
hold
just-
on, Scott.
it's
Before we go on, are there any other hot button topics that we should avoid?
I
What do you
mean-
think about birds? Are birds real?
They're cameras,
Okay.
obviously.
Noted.
Yeah, birds are cameras. The government had to change the batteries in them. That's why we got sequestered during COVID.
I
Damn,
saw
it's taken
one
them a
spraying
long ass time.
chemtrails the other day.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Chemtrails are really bad. You know, they're just getting rid of their old Agent Orange stores.
Oh my god.
Are you regretting this podcast?
Listen, here's the thing. I'm going to stop spouting off conspiracy theories soon, but I don't know when it's going to be. So,
To be fair, I shouldn't have asked that question.
yeah, that is also pretty fair. That is also pretty fair. But also, I don't think, on a serious note, the Finnish meta, I don't think is as indicative of, like, the European meta overall. But
I agree.
Yeah.
definitely.
Also,
I've had
I have
the
no
same-
idea how their LGSs play. Like, I just see Leptus's stream, and
Yeah.
that's like the exposure.
I've had like the same conversation with Cicada, you know, regarding like European players versus American players, and one of the early conversations in the MLC we had was how surprised he was at the frequency with which people would just jam it into 3 open blue and not get punished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was and that's a great conversation because apparently, in some metas, going for it doesn't reward you immediately, which is wild to me. Like,
I don't even believe it.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's fake. Don't bring that up, Scott.
News.
Fake news. Okay. So to get back to your questions that you might have, you said you had a list.
Oh, sure. Well, not like a physical list.
A physical
but,
list, okay.
Okay. So now, earlier, Scotty had mentioned that Dan's favorite deck was Grixis something. What was it?
Moldy Grist?
Moldy
I
Grixis,
said
which
moldy
is,
Grixis,
yeah.
but I don't know
What-
if that's true. That
What
was
is
just
moldy Grixis? I don't even know.
Moldy Grixis is Ekracrom. That's I was originally a Tevesh Crom deck
moist
that I was fascinated with, and then Culling Ritual came out, and I was like, okay, there needs to be green in this deck now. And basically, that whole deck is just like, I want to play Ad Nauseam, but also cast a Culling
Love
Ritual.
Culling Ritual.
It's so much fun all the
It's a
time.
good
is
card.
the thing.
It's a fun card.
When I see someone slam it, it does work like every time. Like you can even Wish Claw into it to get an extra mana. Like you don't care. It's so
It's
good.
actually really
it's so fun.
frustrating how many stacks pieces it kills.
Yeah.
Given that I've been playing stacks a little bit lately, it's pretty frustrating that it like hits, you know, orbs and that kind of thing.
Likewise.
If it makes you feel better, I find it very frustrating that it doesn't kill any Rule of Laws.
That is, well, it kills
Well-
exactly Aethersworn Canonist.
And deafening
Okay.
sounds.
and
Oh, and Deafening Silence is a big one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I too am jamming stacks, and maybe we can have that conversation later in this podcast.
Me
'Cause
too,
if
actually.
you want to talk about your Aurelia Scoots.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Aurelia. Oh my god.
I'm happy to talk about Aurelia at any point or time.
I would love to, because I've also been... I was never a stacks player very much. When I first started getting into cEDH, like I said, I started with Flash, and then I moved on to Kess just to pick up a second deck, and then, I don't know, I've played many decks since, but most of them have been towards the faster end of the spectrum, and then recently, I think it was maybe for Mab the Queen's No Blue cEDH tournament for her
yeah.
birthday. Yeah, I think that was the first time I ever picked up a stacks deck in Blood Moon, and then I started exploring more stacks decks because I was like, wow, like I'm really underselling my experience with this meta, only playing these fast decks and not learning more about how to play stacks really efficiently, because it's really difficult. I find it to be much more difficult, or at least it's difficult to me in ways that are very different to me than Storm is very difficult.
I think stacks is a blast. Like, At first I was like, oh man, how can anyone have fun playing 3 Rule of Laws? And then I played 3 Rule of Laws, and there it was. There was the fun. I felt it right there.
Had the fun.
So my entrance to stacks in cEDH was when I first started playing online, and I had my Estrid stacks deck optimized, and I was ready to play it. I got about 3 games in. I had 4 games in, 2 wins and 2 draws because they went to time. And then Timmy told me not to play the deck anymore.
I remember that happening.
So for people who aren't in the know, Nexus, we do take a stand sometimes on decks that we may not feel are quite there. And by gum, well, my first decks I played on there, I was asked to not play it. And Timmy was right. The deck didn't do much. Like, it relied on other people to interact, which is not where you want to be on stacks, and not how I think stacks decks are now. I think they've gotten way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely been like a serious resurgence in like stacks brewing that has kind of, I don't want to say revolutionized the way stacks is played, but like certainly stacks is attacking from different angles now that it wasn't before.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
And I think also WotC has been kind and printed a few more good tools, like the Archons of Valor's Reach and Emeria, and like Deafening Silence did not exist when I was initially. One of the first decks I played was actually like a halfway stacks deck. I played Hulk Weaver, which ran like Root Maze and Rule of Law and stuff like that to try and slow down the game to play Hulk, which, thinking back on it, like, slowing down the game to play Hulk when Flash was legal was maybe not the most... it was maybe not the best idea that existed. But, I think that was, like, a very clunky implementation of stacks, and I think it's come, a significant distance since then, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I find it, like, the way that people will use stacks and find ways to work around stacks to be a lot more inventive, and it is because of cards like Kodama and things like that have like really changed the way that you're able to play stacks.
Yeah,
but it's definitely more focused in a lot of ways, and just like with Hal's Blue Pot, I think that's a really fun and interesting take on a stacks deck and a pod deck, and it's like super really aggressive and really good at winning games like really quickly. Like it's always an impressively fast and consistent deck.
Yeah, I think Advantage Blue Pod is one of like those new kind of breed of stacks decks that can close out the game fast, but like doesn't have to race. I think it's almost the more like what I would call mid-range stacks than like long game stacks.
Yeah.
Certainly like newer iterations of Blood Pod kind of run along the same line, and newer stacks like Heliod Ballista.
I think Yuriko in that category too. She runs really targeted stacks pieces, but then has the mid-range plan.
Yeah, I'm actually, so in MLC, the games I won with Selvala are the games that I played slower and didn't try to do like the turn one land Dork, turn 2 land Selvala, turn 3 go for it. It was like turn 1 land Dork, do something else, and then maybe turn 2 Selvala, but like always just wait, and like right now we're having this conversation in the Brostorm Discord, like, oh, I think Selvala stacks is viable. I think that we could do a Selvala stacks build that is a mid-range stacks list. I think that's a really important term, like mid-range stacks. That's like not really trying to hard lock anyone else out, but just like does just enough annoying stuff and also can still win underneath all the stacks pieces that we put out.
Like Thorns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just playing like quick relevant stacks pieces and not just trying to like overload on any generic stacks pieces.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's what I like about I'm on Oswald Fiddlebender, and I find myself routinely just starting to pull out more stacks pieces. It's like you tutor up the ones you want, you get those out. You don't need to just bog the deck down with every single stacks piece and have like redundant pieces out. Like, get the things you need. Other people might play some other stuff if you're in the right meta, and then you can have more action cards.
Also,
Plus, you get to play cEDH All-Star Norn's Annex.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Oh my goodness, yes. I wish I was just touching one right now.
I get to pot it straight away because it's such a bad card. Right into God Pharaoh's statue.
Which is a good card.
I didn't become aware of people playing that card until, like, I don't know, relatively recently, like 3 or 4 months ago. And I was like, whoa, that's so fucking cool. Because I remember that card being a house in draft.
Yeah, it's a neat card.
Yeah, I couldn't... I forgot when I first saw it, and then because I didn't do the draft, I couldn't believe it existed, and, like, it's an uncommon. It's, like, one-sided,
I first saw that card being
sphere.
played in cEDH.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it in Comedian's Belby Stacks, was, I think, the first time I've seen it in a cEDH deck. Was Belby.
Makes
because
perfect sense.
you just make a stupid amount of colorless mana and then slam a
that's
God
really
Pharaoh
funny.
statue.
That is hilarious. I think I first saw it in, like, maybe Callahan's Lavinia list. There are
Good
lots of
old
really fun
Lavinia.
cards in that deck. It's not a deck that I would ever want to play personally, I think. It doesn't seem like my style of deck, but there are lots of individual, very fun cards in it.
It's neat, though.
It
like-
is neat. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's not a deck that I would ever play, and I will absolutely say very pointed comments to Callahan about it when we joke around about each other's decks, but like I think it's fine and I think it's cool, and I've definitely lost to it like a fair few times, and so I don't really have much room to be saying anything about deck quality in that particular case.
Yeah. Cards that I think have been really, unique cards I think that have been really good. I've been testing out Chancellor of the Annex in a Thrasios Tymna build that I have.
The white one where you reveal it pregame?
Yeah, reveal it pregame. The first spell that your opponents cast for the game is countered unless they pay one. The tempo that sets for you is crazy. Like, it's everybody has to wait a turn to basically play their first spell because they have to pay 1 mana for it, and like all that mana crypt is now Soul Ring. That's really good. So good.
It's such a low chance of having it though. Like, is it okay outside of that situation?
Yeah, if you cast it afterwards, it's a good white card. It's just it's a lot. Like you're investing quite a bit into it if you have it in your deck. The deck that I'm playing it in though has a lot of pregame cards in it. Because I'm trying to shape, because the deck is really fast, so I'm trying to shape a really good opening hand to pretty much try
anticipation? Tell me.
Oh man, I'm on Leyline of the Void, Leyline of Anticipation.
Oh shit.
Chancellor.
Oh
Chancellor,
yeah.
What? Oh,
Let's see, Chancellor of the Tangle, which is it
Yep,
has a
the
green
creature one?
Yeah. And then I'm also on Sphinx of Foresight.
This is radical. Okay, we need to hang on. We need to give a spice
Sphinx
warning
of
to the
Foresight.
audience. This is such spice levels. We need.
Okay.
to
Whoa, yeah, not safe for work mode right now. Totally.
Okay, yeah.
We have crossed the spice barriers.
Yeah. So
What's the Scoville count?
For
Guys,
those
you had to eat your heart out.
We've transitioned to the desert planet of Arrakis.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Chancellor of the Tangle is reveal Chancellor of the Tangle from your opening hand. If you do, you get a green mana in your first main phase. Sphinx of Foresight is a blue flying creature, which is good. It's 2 colors, 2 blue, 4/4. It says if you reveal this card in your opening hand, then you scry 3 in your first upkeep. So it controls your draw, which I like. Because these are garbage cards, I'm like really nervous about them. I also have Serum Powder in the deck.
Yep. Of course you do.
Because I want a mulligan for these really, really good hands. And so...
Yeah, I know, man. That blew my mind a little bit. You're running like just all of the old modern tech from the past like 5 years.
Yeah.
Just anything that has ever altered your opening hand. This is really awesome.
Yeah, and so the name of the deck is called CST Marinade, and it's so much fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, really, really fun deck.
Are you running that green card? That's your first. I mean, you might have said that if it's your first spell, it's free, and you get to look at the top 5 and put a creature.
Oh, Once Upon a Time? No, I'm not on Once Upon a Time.
Oh, okay.
But it might make it in. I'm testing it out. So far, it's been really, really fun. Yeah, so CST Marinade. Yeah, so all these like cards, and honestly, I'm just trying things out because the MLC required me to play the same 4 decks for 10 weeks, and I was like losing my mind. So I like literally brewed as far outside of the box that I could possibly think of, and this is what happened.
Yeah,
I fully support brewing bonkers shit.
Yeah, I'm doing exactly the same. This is a feeling I can sympathize with very strongly at this point because like I've been playing like 5-color Nas and Bad Farm and the DB version of Razakats for like the last 9 games in a row. I think I play, and I I'm like playing Boros stacks now. When I'm like playing Magic for fun, I'm playing like Thrasios Krark or Boros stacks. Like,
every time I play with Ken during the MLC, he would be like so sad about the cards that were in his deck. It's like, oh, there's so many better cards for Krark and Sakashima. Now this sucks.
So I was on the Krark Thras this time around. I'm like, I just want to slip in Ragavan and the Tavern Scoundrel so bad.
Yeah, Tavern Scoundrel was bonkers. That's such a crazy printing
bananas.
of a card at common.
Yeah, at common. That's absolutely right. Yeah,
they so flippantly put treasure tokens on things. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, mistakes. Yeah. We're just making mistakes here. Yeah, so like, okay, so the MLC. Okay.
Yeah.
So, MLC. How did you all feel about it?
I had a fun time with it.
From an outsider's perspective, it seemed like it was like pretty well run. It seemed like most people were like happy with their experience playing it, like to the greater extent, like besides small gripes and things. But from a spectator's perspective, it was a lot of fun to watch. It was really fun to like see both like players that you were interested in seeing, and then also like decks that you were interested in seeing do well, and just watching the numbers move across the season was pretty cool, I thought.
I had a lot of fun as a competitor in most of my games, and I thought it was like super well run. Like all of the kudos that I can possibly give to Calhan for the way the league was run, but it definitely reinforced in me that I don't like tournament cEDH. And the other thing that I really took away from it is that the DB lists are supposed to be like the best list into a blind meta. At least that's the description I've been given in the past in like feedback to my submissions. And I just don't think that they are. Like when it finally comes down to it, because especially with like in a format where Hull Breacher was legal the entire time, the amount of decks in white that could easily run Swords to Plowshares that just weren't was frustrating almost. And you know, I think that there is definitely in a competitive format, in a tournament format, there's definitely like a deep desire to win, and I think people do unreasonable things to try and win that they normally wouldn't do to try and win.
That happily didn't happen to me in any of my games. Like I've seen it happen.
I had so many non-games. I had like 2 or 3 basic non-games because it happened, and like and some of the matchups that got created, like I think.
Are you more talking about like when people deep dive into like politicking so hard to stay in the game kind of thing, or like what do you mean by things that wouldn't normally happen?
So things that wouldn't normally happen, like one prominent example is in like the first game that I played, where there was a deep, I think it was a deep tainted pact for exactly a Hull Breacher. And then there was a Praetor's Grasp on the player that it was a deep tainted pact for exactly an opposition agent. It was like 75 cards deep.
Oh, I saw that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And then the player who opposition agented Praetor's Grasped another player to try and get their Oracle and win the game, and that player just suicide consulted to not let them get Oracle.
Unintentionally,
unintentionally suicide.
Yes.
Yeah, to the audience, it was a consult for Thassa's Oracle to try and stop the Praetor's Grasp from getting it, but it happened that it was in the top 6, and that person committed suicide via MTG.
Sudoku.
Yeah, and so then it was 2 players left. One of them had 20 cards in their library, and the other one was me against a Paco that was like a 12-12.
Yep.
And the game just basically didn't exist. Like, I was on the deck with no wipes in it, and yeah,
it's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. There's like the biggest lesson I learned was, one, like, this is a game, right? Like, this is, and at the end of the day, like, yeah, we can try playing super tight and like no one talk and everyone is just playing just straight Magic, and that just is not fun at all. In the Western Conference, I was very fortunate to play against LJ a lot. I played against LJ a few times, and I loved it. Like, LJ really makes games fun. He laughs a lot, and he's just a generally great guy. Shout out to LJ. And so I felt like that energy that he brought to games, I wanted to try to bring to games, like just laughing a lot, just having a good time, remembering like I'm playing a game. Even until like the last game, in the Mox Bowl, like that pod was pretty tough. Ian is a very good Magic player.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he's a frighteningly good Magic player.
Ian is a very good Magic player. He's also very cutthroat. And so, like, it's when you have that, like, oh, let's have a good time energy, and that meets like a more intense energy, it is like, oh wait, I have to switch modes. Like, I have to get my head in the game.
Yeah, definitely can't slip up.
Yeah,
I don't have that. I don't have that switch in me. I think I'm always like a lovable idiot when it comes to playing Magic.
Yeah, man.
And that's just kind of how I play. So it was really hard for me to flick that switch. And like you said, you had some really fun games with like LJ, and I had games with a lot of people who were very much there to win and who were very much not there to like talk and jam. They wanted like the 15-minute game type of thing.
Yeah. I had a lot of games where people were like, I had one where I was like, oh, can I take you back to that? Like, oh yeah, like there were a couple games where we had takes you backsies. It's like, yeah, sure. Like that's how laid back my games were for the most part.
Yeah, and that's really good to hear. And I think it's important.
I think there's a huge diversity of experiences in the as far as competitors go. And I think that's just how a random schedule like makes things happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge amount of people in it too, like from a really wide array of areas.
Yeah.
Callahan asked if I wanted to play it, and I did not, because I'm like not a tournament Magic player at all. I've always been a pretty casual Magic player. I don't know. I used to do like modern tournaments and stuff like that, but like nothing very serious outside of my LGS. But just like there's so much stress that comes along with it, and people do really like playing a way that is like you said, Hires, just like I like to really remind myself that it is a game, and I'm doing it because I'm having fun, and there's not another reason to do it in my mind. I don't know. The accolades that you can get for winning the tournaments and things is just not a thing that appeals to me. Although, like, I mean, shouts to all of the people who do win the tournaments, because they're extremely good Magic players, and like they're part of the reason why I joined playing is because I'm not smart enough to put together really good lists. So I take their really good lists and play them, and they're really fun.
Yeah, and also,
I mean, yeah,
like when you become like so okay. I'm gonna okay, there's a thing. I'm gonna say a thing.
Spit it out.
Okay, so
block my ears.
In the MLC at the end, for those of you who are listening to this podcast and didn't watch the MLC, 10-week tournament, at the very end there was the Western Conference Finals, which is what I participated in, and then the Mox Bowl was right after that. The Eastern Conference Finals happened first, and that game went really, really long, and then the Western Conference Finals happened, and I won, and I was really, really cool. I was like so excited and jazzed for it, but then like immediately after was the Mox Bowl, and like my emotions were like, I was like over the moon, and I was like I was not ready to like play another serious game of Magic. And then I jump into the finals, and like the people that I'm playing with are all excellent Magic players, but also Sheldon just did his interview, and he said,
cool.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, like, go Rebel. And I was like, oh man, I'm also fanboying over Rebel a little bit. And so it was very interesting, like the amount of emotions I was going through. And to everyone's credit, like everyone played really, really tight Magic. And I remember at the very, very end, there was my board state was pretty lame, and Ian attacked me with this gigantic Paco, and I remember feeling like so sour, like, please not like this, please.
I know. I've experienced that. I experienced that a few times. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
this
I was
how I
getting
go out.
flashbacks with you guys getting bonked. Like,
Oh my god, Paco gets so big so fast. But regardless, I outstanding Magic. Cicada, by the way, is the most graceful human. I swear, he is the nicest person.
He is kindness incarnate for sure.
Oh my gosh. And like it was cool to see Magic at that level. I get a decent amount of like Magic playing at a pretty high level consistently. Like I get to play against Scoots, I get to play against Deak. I don't play against moderately anonymous enough, but
No, I invited you to 2 streams like very last second, and you were like, "No, I'm trying to eat food." And I was like, "Very respectable."
He's like, "Hey, you want to join the stream?" I'm like, I gotta feed my son real quick.
Hire you dirtbag having a family.
Right?
No. To his credit, I said this on stream too. I invited him to a stream that happened after the Mox Bowl tournament, like 8 p.m. that night, and Hire was like, "Oh man, if you give me 2 hours to eat, I'll be in." It's like what happens in 1 hour.
Yeah,
I appreciate that dedication. That's amazing.
Yeah, and so like again, I'm gonna hit on Ian one more time because like I've seen Ian's decks evolve over the past like 2 years, and becoming the player that he is now. Like I could not be more like happy for him because like his like the evolution that he's taken and like the decks that he's like done well in have really propelled
the evolution that he's taken.
The evolution.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? It's a pun. He made an evolution deck.
Amazing.
But like he is, and we talked after the match. He is the man. Like I am like super happy to see him like do the things that he's doing, become as successful as he's becoming, and to be able to like play in the pod that I played in, and then be able to play in like the MLC as a whole. I was like just really honored, and I think like that's the reflection that I had after everything was said and done, because I don't ever play with the people that I played against. Like Lurker, like IMOC, all these really, really good players I never get a chance to play with. Like it's hard to schedule games like that, and the fact that I was like every week I got a chance to do that was just like ridiculous. It was so much fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everyone involved was like amazing. It was so fun to see the matchups every week, and I think to go back to what I said earlier about just like it being so much fun to like follow your favorite people in the meta and just be like, oh man, this person's gonna play that person, that's gonna be a fucking wild matchup.
Yeah.
Also seeing like the people who brewed the decks, like playing the decks that they brewed, like they like seeing LG on Edric, or seeing like it was like, oh my god, like you made this deck and you're playing it in the tournament. Well, that's amazing. You know, that was super sick.
No.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of redeeming qualities to the MLC as a whole. I think there's definitely like some wild game states that would just never occur in a normal game. Like one of my fondest memories of the MLC was me winning with your Gilded Drake Selvala and your Phyrexian Dreadnought I cast off of a Mnemonic Betrayal.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that was
that was ridiculous.
That was one of my fondest memories from the MLC.
That sounds amazing.
It was great. So I Gilded Drake Selvala, and then I had a Lotus Petal for the green, and I cast the Mnemonic Betrayal, cast the Dreadnought, tapped it for 12 like
Mana
6
of any
blue,
color.
6 black, Yeah, 6 blue, 6 black, and then cast the lab man from my hand, and then cast consult from someone's yard, and then mutated someone else's Lore Dracus onto my Kells or something to get my Gitaxian probe back to draw a card.
It was
was
so good.
Wow.
No,
It's the
listen.
wildest
amazing.
board state I've ever been a part of, and like you would never, it would never, in no normal cEDH meta would you see like Kells versus Selvala versus something something. Like it was bonkers. And there was a few of those moments in the MLC with like Paco getting huge hits to lead into like an extra turn loop type of thing, and have like 8 pieces of protection, or just watching people go off in like very odd ways. Like I think Sick Robot tried to go off with Cole, and watching Cole try to go off was that's a sight. I hadn't seen it before, but like Mortar Pod and wild, crazy
It's
stuff.
something else. Cyrus from Mental Misplays plays that deck, and it's frightening to play against because it's like really consistent and really quick on some good draws. Like when you know what to mulligan for, I guess. I have no idea whatever is going to happen, but stuff always happens, and it always kills me.
Always mull for Skull Clamp.
Always more.
It seems good. Skull Clamp is always a bad time for sure.
Yeah.
There was a game when I was on Jorn, and there was a hermit player, and the hermit player tried going off, and I had like all the interaction. Like it was not happening for that person, unfortunately. And they passed and went to my turn, and my Dark Confidant revealed a Mnemonic Betrayal, and I was like, oh wait, Mnemonic Betrayal into a full graveyard is unfair. That is not fair magic.
So is the lesson we're taking away that Mnemonic Betrayal is a busted card? Because
I actually just won a game today off Mnemonic Betrayal too. Like I think everyone's graveyards had already been exiled for some reason, but I Culling Ritualed, blew up some fast mana.
Culling into Mnemonic.
Yeah, that I Demonic
So
tutored
gross.
4 and Ad Nauseam. Ad Nauseam got a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't enough. But I had a grinding station on board, so I was manually grinding away my own stuff. At a certain point, I'd run out of stuff. I had 7's Wreck in hand, but like no way to tutor up the Underworld Breach or to get it into my yard. So I had to just like keep grinding station things away. And eventually I found the line of Mnemonic Betrayaling everyone's fast mana, and I was able to grind away
there,
like
then.
12 more rocks.
incredible.
Oh,
And eventually manually grind my way down to milling the Underworld Breach.
Wow, impressive, good sir. Yeah, the MLC had a lot of really wonky board states. You know, in the Western Conference Finals, I cast a Turn Timber Symbiosis. I hard casted that, and like praying for something, and in the deck, and then hitting Woodland Bellower. I was like, all right.
I saw that and I was like, I was like, I must not remember which art is which on that card, because I was like, there's no way he's casting that.
Yeah.
Heart of the cards.
Dude, it was Heart of the Cards, dude. 100,000%. Oh, God. Yeah, the MLC was fun. I had a good time.
It was really bananas. Like, I can understand anyone who is like, that was too long in the end, because like that was my main thing, is like I could never commit to that many Saturdays of playing really high intensity Magic. But it looked like a lot of fun to do. If I could have done it for like 2 weeks at my choice, it's somewhere throughout the 12 weeks, I definitely would have done that.
Yeah, I definitely had scheduling issues. I think the grind of something like that can definitely get to people, and I think I'm definitely people in
I'm
this
with
case.
you. I don't think
I'm a
I would
soft
do it
baby. I don't
again
wanna do that.
personally.
Yeah.
But it was cool to do.
Can we talk about why you weren't in the playoffs, Deak?
Oh yeah, so like a number of weeks prior, so this was going into my birthday here. My parents offered to buy me tickets to a circus called Circus Juventus. It's something they'd seen, where it's like, think Cirque du Soleil, but it's done by like volunteers and like training younger people, like teenagers, how to do the circus acts, and then
cool.
them doing the show. Yeah, no, it was super cool. But my folks were like, "Hey, we'll get you tickets. What date works for you?" And I'm like, this Saturday I shouldn't be doing anything. I think the MLC's over by then. Yeah, that'll work. Like, just not even paying attention to the MLC scheduler. That was the finals. And then lo and behold, made it to the finals, or not the finals, but whatever it is, the pre-finals.
Yeah, the Western Conference Finals.
Western Conference Finals. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I'm going to the circus. Someone else take over for me. So yeah, that's what it was. I was watching that instead. It was very. The crowd there was very white and old, like grandparents watching their grandkids do things, but also mixed past that. But it was super fun. I liked it.
Cool.
Would recommend.
It sounds like more fun than Magic. To be honest, like when you've been magicking all summer, doing that instead of magicking, that sounds great.
Oh yeah, went out with my girlfriend, had a fun time. So, yeah.
Also, I feel like on the receiving end, if I got the call, it's like Deak is not here because he's at the circus. Like that's a made up excuse. Where is he?
Yeah. Yep. Well, we had one early on where someone was an hour and a half late for like my first game because they were at the zoo because they'd gotten the time zones mixed up. So that happened.
Yeah.
The zoo excuse had already been used, so I had to do something else.
I think the zoo thing happened twice. I think it
Like
was
two different zoos.
Two separate incidences of people at zoos.
Wow.
Hot zoo summer.
And I think it was after the second zoo incident, or no, it was after a different incident completely that Callahan decided that there was a 5-minute rule.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't at your game and within 5 minutes of its start time, you forfeit, and they played with 3 players. Only happened once.
Only happened once.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, that was when they said that, when you said you weren't gonna go, I was like, oh well, it's part of the course.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not like it hasn't happened before.
Right.
That was a good time with the tier, and to be fair with the tier 1, like even if I'd like gone on to like win that, didn't they have some prize if you won one of the tier 1 things? You got something in Denmark.
You got a seat at you got like a buy at the tier 1 that's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, even if it was like, even if I got that, I wouldn't do anything with it. So I just had a good time playing.
Tier 1 is this weekend. That's right.
Yeah.
Tier 1 is this weekend. There's a time twister on the line, I think.
Oh, did they get enough?
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they said it was 100 players, I think, was the cutoff, and I think they're at like 104.
Hey,
That's amazing.
Man. Oh my god.
That's without people registering, so it's all 10 duels and a time twister up for grabs.
A lot of people going from all the Discord.
Yeah.
Serious prizes right there. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to go to Denmark.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people who I knew who were like, I'm going to go to that. And I'm like, wow, that's not a thing I would ever think about doing. Just like, I'm going to go to that different country, play in a cEDH tournament. Whoa.
Yeah, Mikey of the Philly crew was going to go.
My girlfriend would kill me if I did that.
Yo, for real.
Yeah.
Not in the cards for me.
Yeah, no flights overseas to play Magic. I don't have that.
Sounds fun though. Like everyone who's going to do it, like it's going to be a big party. Everyone's going to, I don't know, get naked and do fun stuff.
Hey,
get naked
and
do fun stuff.
The expendable income and the time to go get naked and do fun stuff, so go ahead.
Yeah,
I would.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have those things though.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Nope. Family can't do it. Like
anyway, I got a Patreon. That's patreon.com/moderately anonymous.
Yeah, like taking my family to Denmark would be cool. Like I'm pretty sure my wife would be super down, but like, so I could play Magic is probably not the reason.
Because he's like come out of a convention center like all sweaty after 10 hours.
Yeah,
like that's not how she's trying to hang.
Would you like to go ride bikes through Copenhagen? No.
I'm really hoping that, and please cEDH crowd, us Magic players don't have the best body odor. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Reputation. So please, I have high expectations of all of you. Wear some deodorant.
Please shower.
Step it up. We're better than the plebs.
Conra is for legacy players.
We're better than Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that recently. They don't shower ever.
I found out about it just through memes. So
Wait.
I saw enough of them, and I was like, "Oh, is this real?"
Wait, I'm so.
I gotta Google this so I don't misrepresent this.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say it on hearsay, but you can
this
Google it. That's
sincerely
better.
grossing
No,
I'll just say the
I
hearsay.
prefer the hearsay. Yeah,
Let's
can
hear
I
the
get that?
hearsay, and then we'll hear the facts. So what I have reverse engineer found out is that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have said that they don't bathe their children very often, and that has turned into a bunch of people saying that no celebrities bathe. I saw this meme that was that celebrities were saying that they don't bathe, so we don't eat them.
Well, here's the thing. Celebrities don't bathe because they are reptiles and they're cold-blooded. And so when they take a shower, they get lethargic.
Are you referring to lizard people?
Yes, yeah, I am. The fact that all celebrity are Anunnaki lizard people is really well known. Basically fact.
Remember when someone voted for the lizard people then wanted to take their vote back because they really meant something else?
No.
That happened.
I don't.
I don't know about this either, but it sounds like a metaphor for
I want to say it was when there was the whole... I gotta look this up. It might have been like the Al Gore things where someone voted for the lizard people. Oh, it was in my state. That's why you guys haven't heard of it.
Okay.
Minnesota. This was in our super close election. Al Franken versus Norm Coleman, and it was so close. They did like 3 recounts, but some dude wrote in lizard
that oldie
people.
but goodie.
And he's like, no, I didn't think my vote would count. I really meant Al Franken.
Wow.
Can I change that?
From a
No,
state.
this is a competitive setting. No takesies back.
Oh no! He won Norm Coleman. Here's what it was. He circled in Al Franken. He crossed an X through it, and then wrote lizard people, and then in text wrote, "I really do want to vote for Coleman." It was like the most confusing ballot possible.
Whoa.
Honestly, from a state that elected a professional wrestler as their governor, it makes sense to me.
Hey, we never did it again, and then other places started electing celebrities, and
That's
they
true.
didn't learn
That's
from our
true.
mistake.
But
Not
you
the
were at
only
the
one.
forefront, though, right? So
I feel like there's one before us, but yes.
I feel like this is Minnesota's fault for sure.
I mean, I'd tell you about it, we did do it again with Al Franken. So.
Well, Scoots, who do you think is like an acceptable celebrity type to be voted into office? Like that would be that's a respectable former celebrity.
Sure. The problem is with this that again, I don't think that we should be allowing more lizards into places of high government.
It could be any kind of animal.
Okay. I guess if I had to pick an acceptable celebrity, I would want like someone that I already know is a dirtbag, like I don't know, like Pete Holmes or something. Like if we could get Pete Holmes as a senator, like I think, because then it's like a known quantity. You already know what you're getting.
That
You know?
makes sense. That makes a lot of
Unlike,
sense.
say,
There's
Gary
always more underneath
Busey,
the
who
surface.
anything could happen.
Yeah, right. Like that's what I'm thinking of. Is that there's always a higher potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think? I think that's a good question to pose to the question asker. What celebrity do you think is appropriate? And you can't say Rebel Son.
Like Paris Hilton, I would elect Paris Hilton to office.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, for sure. In a second.
like
Vice
She's still
President-
technically a celebrity. Do people care about Paris Hilton?
I care about Paris Hilton.
I care about Paris Hilton.
Okay.
Not like I don't know.
Not deeply or.
Not in a way that I've ever
deeply.
given her money for anything.
Yeah, no, but
I-
like as a person,
I hope that
she
she's okay.
seems fine.
I
Yeah.
hope that she's okay.
She's definitely a lizard, though. Like, you can
Definitely
tell.
a lizard.
100%.
Scott definitely thinks that. There's no
She's not
question
even
about it.
hiding it.
100% a lizard. Absolutely. But like, you can't hold it against every lizard.
It's true. Hashtag
Wow.
facts.
That's really big of you, Scott.
That's the most woke thing I've said all day. Not all lizards.
Hashtag not all lizards. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think it's time for us to wrap it up.
Wait a second.
but-
Is this talk of Anunnaki lizard men too far?
Too far, good sir. Too far.
Okay. All right. Fair
No.
enough.
All right. But I did want to say thank you, Moderately Anonymous, for joining us
Yeah.
today.
this was great. This was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for asking me to hang out.
Yes.
We should play cards sometime.
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Some
I was
sort
going
of
to say we
teenage
should
card game.
We should set up a stream where we all play a teenage card game together.
I would like that.
Oh, I would like this. I would like this a lot. Yes. Until then, thank you all for joining. We will be releasing content soon. You will probably see this a couple weeks after we created it, and by then all of the MLC stuff will be long overdue, and everyone will be talking about Tier 1. What are you talking about? But thanks again for joining us. Moderately Anonymous, aka Dan, and Deak, and Scoots. It's always,
Bye, everybody.
We have a bond.
I love you.
But we'll see you all next time. Until later, guys. Bye, everybody.